could use more leads in your business? Well, if so, then I want you to hang out with me for this live video. And I'm going to be doing a series over the next several days on how that you can start leveraging your database, the people that already know, like, and trust you, on generating more referrals. And so I'm Bill Utenage, and I'm the author of the Referability Roadmap, a guide to building a referral-based business. And so what I decided to do is jump on here live each day for the next however many days, and to break down what I call my 36 Connect blueprint or framework. It's a 36-point communication plan, if you will, to engage people in your database. So the people that are your current clients, depending on what industry you're in, it may be could be past clients for those in there in the mortgage and in the real estate business, and then also how to tap into your sphere of influence and your network. And so over these next few days, I'm going to break down each one of the activities inside of this system. And what I'm going to start with today is I'm going to be starting with email. Now, my cautionary piece to email is that, yes, it is one of the easiest things to do because it's pretty simple, right? We send an email, we have an email, we send it out to everyone. What we have to be careful is that it's sometimes one of the most ineffective things that we can do if we don't do it correctly. And what happens is that, we're normally kind of geared to everything that we send out to our database and to people is all about us, right? It's how great our business is and all of the amazing things or the awards that we've won or whatever, right? We've all done that. And that's okay. But the issue is that what we want to be thinking about as we are communicating and engaging our database is how that communication is received. You see, communication isn't about really what we say, it's how it's received on the other end from the receiver, the recipient of that email. Is there value in that email that's going to cause them to even want to open it? And if they do open it, is there anything in there that they believe is going to help them or bring any kind of value to their life? And if not, well, one, normally we won't open it. And two, if you open it, you may not even read it. And so I want you to be thinking about, as we're talking about email on this training today, is think of coming from the aspect of yourself. Put yourself in your client's shoes and think about all the email that you get on a daily basis. And it's a lot, right? Some of it's so much so that at times, and if you're like me, and you probably are, you create another whole email address just for stuff, right? That you sign up for, newsletters and those kind of things, right? Now, the issue of it is that what you tend to open, if you think about yourself, is that you're sitting in front of your computer and you're looking at your email. What are you going to open first and look at? You're typically going to do that from people that you know, right? Now, this is the beauty of this system is that we're not sending cold outreach. We're not spamming people. If you want to do cold outreach, that's a whole other, that's not what I help people do. But the beauty of this is that the people that we're going to be sending these emails to, these people should already know you, right? And probably like and trust you because they probably, if they're clients and have done business with you, depending on industry, if they're your past clients or if they're in your world, in your sphere of influence or network. So you've got that going for you, right? We're already have people that already, those are going to be the first ones that we're going to open. So that piece is great. So that the second thing of it is that if we're going to open that is a subject line. Now, I am not a professional copywriter by any stretch of the imagination, but the issue of it is that we always want to have a subject line that, again, that is going to appeal to them. And if I'm in the insurance world and my subject line is that, introducing a new insurance product, is that really going to get me to want to open that email? Probably not. But what I want you to be thinking about is that you're going to hear me use value-based content. And value-based content is the value, not what you think the value is that what if you sent this to someone is it something that they could use in their daily lives to make it better or to possibly solve a problem? And so you're going to hear me talk about that is we want value driven content to go into our emails because we ultimately, yes, we want them to open the email. Now, I will also tell you this is that if they don't open the email, just the sheer fact of you sending the email and having your name, right? So I'm looking at my if I'm in my Gmail, your Outlook, or whatever that you may use, and you go, oh, hey, here's Bill Utenage, and here's the subject line of whatever that I'm sending. What happens is that it's like, oh, well, Bill's still in whatever industry that I may be. I'm in the obviously I'm in the coaching and consulting world. It's helping people. Is so they're like, oh, he's still doing that. If when I was in real estate, it's that when we sent this out to our emails out to our clients, they're like, it was just a reminder to them, right, top of mind, that like, oh, okay, hey, Bill's still in the real estate business. Jenny's still financial services, right? Dana's still, in insurance, right. Whatever that may be for you. It is just a reminder because the thing that I want you to understand is, right, though we have basically 7 different modes of communication inside of this, one builds upon the other. So we're hitting, if you notice, they're all right, they're different. We're going to go email to direct mail to phone call to text, right? To actually notes and face-to-faces and cards. And this is a way that we're going to be able to hit people different ways because everyone responds differently to different forms of medium, right? And think about yourself. And what I want you as we go through this training is to be thinking is put yourself, and I know it's a challenge, is to put yourself in the client's shoes. Think about the things that if you were to get, it's like, well, oh, would that be interesting to me? And if it's interesting to you, there's a pretty good chance that it's going to be, it could be interesting to someone else. And so what we're going to talk about, again, so our email, and we're going to send just one a month, right? One time a month. That's it. Because so many people want to go, oh, well, I'll send something every single week. No, we're going to be doing other things again that we talked about that I'll be getting into as we go through this series. So make sure that you're staying with this or watching the replay. And so we're going to be sending that email out once a month. Now, what I would say is to send it at the same time each month. Why? Because it builds consistency. So if I know that we're going to send an email out to all our whole database of clients and network, we're going to send that out on the 1st or the 15th or the 10th, whatever. And then doing that every single month at the same time builds that consistency. It also then lets people know is that, hey, on the 15th, I've been noticing I get this email. And even when you set this up and using automation, which I am going to highly recommend that you do inside of the CRM or the database system that you use, has that ability, because that's going to save you tons and tons of time to do that. You can literally write a year's worth of emails and have that set up to where those go out. Okay. So that's super important. So we're going to have that at the same time. Same time each month. Okay. Now we talk about value, value based. So that is such a wide open term, and I get that. I understand it. Where it's like, oh, we need to bring value. So what does that look like? So for example, I'm going to give you some ideas to be thinking about. So an example of that could be is the 5, I'm looking at my list here, is 5 simple home tips to save you money this fall. Now, and depending on where you live, it can be seasonal. I live in South Florida. So there's not a lot of fall to get ready for in South Florida, but I'll tell you what there is to get ready for, and that is hurricane season. Okay, that begins June 1st and runs until the end of November. So if I'm a local service provider, if I'm an insurance agent, especially if I'm an insurance agent, is hey, here's your hurricane checklist to get you ready of the 11 things or 13 things that you need to be ready for hurricane season. Do you see the difference? the value in that is like going, oh, hey, here are the things that I need to get ready for hurricane season. If I'm in, I moved here from, from the Midwest. And so yes, for getting ready for fall and for winter, what does that look like? Hey, getting your furnace checked out, before, the cold weather comes. So you see the difference of all of that. These are things. Another one is how to create a create a family emergency plan, no matter where you live, because it could be on the California coast, it could be wildfires, it could be tornadoes in the Midwest, it could be hurricanes here in South Florida, right? Another one is, and I've had clients do this one, is really the top 10 happenings that are going on for the month. And this one is really good because these things are published. You can get these just about anywhere, right? Off of Facebook, off of your local city, your chamber of commerce will have, hey, these are the happenings, like festivals that are going on, those kind of things, and sending that out each month. So this is, and I'm sharing this with you to give you ideas of like what this looks like from a value-based standpoint versus it being about real estate. Now, I'm going to talk about how we're going to link our industry inside of those emails. But what I want us to really understand and get a grasp of is understanding that what the purpose of these emails are. Yes, we want to get them open, but we also, if I can bring value and I start consistently sending something out to people that every time I do this, there's something of value in there, more than likely, guess what's going to happen? They're probably going to open it and read it, and hopefully maybe that they'll actually use it and find value out of that. And what happens is that what I want you to be thinking about inside of your business is value, because you may be in say insurance, your property and casualty insurance agent, right? And you have clients that have obviously that will be with you for X period of time, hopefully for life, right? We call those clients that those are lifers, that they're going to stay with us but we also know, right, that rates go up and things change and people are constantly, other agencies are trying to, vie for that, for that business. But the issue of it is if I can become more valuable to them, right, in their life, then I'm bringing a different type of value. Yes, we're delivering world-class service in our insurance agency, doing all of those things. That's a given. That should be happening. Okay. If that's not happening, then whatever I'm telling you now probably isn't going to matter. But what we want to do is we want to make sure we're delivering that service. But the issue is why this is so important, why I was compelled to kind of get on and just start teaching this thing. This is what I teach my students and my private clients is one of the main reasons, and I did the research on this, is the main reasons, especially why people leave financial planners, why people leave their insurance, because insurance and financial services are different, as we know, in a sense of how the business is run compared to, say, real estate and mortgage, right? Because there's recurring, you're signed for a certain period of time, whether that's money under management with a financial advisor planner or as an insurance agent holding a policy for a client. But one of the main reasons is why people leave. And if I ask this, you would say it's overpriced, right? They're unhappy about cost or whatever. No, actually the thing was, when I did the research on this, was not good communication. Not enough communication. The communication didn't appeal to them or didn't relate to them. Or the biggest thing was there just wasn't enough communication. And this is what I have found. And when I learned this and we started creating this and creating this 36 Connect framework, which came out of my real estate business, is understanding is like connecting with people 36 times a year or more. And when I share that with people are just like, oh my God, that's way too much. But it's not, because we're getting bombarded with upwards of 5,000 marketing messages every single day. And think about that. Like it's craziness. And so 36 is the minimum. And so the average that I see when I talk to local service businesses is most of them are anywhere from like 2 to maybe 6, maybe 12. Like they're sending out a monthly email. And, so we're going to up that. And what we want to do is create a system around it. And that's what the 36 Connect framework does, it allows you to do. So email once a month, We're going to pick it the same time each month to do that. And we're going to send something of value. Now, here's a couple of things that I want to share with you. We're going to do this obviously every month. We're going to send that. Now, what I also am fine with, and what we did in our business is what we're going to do is we're going to add at the bottom of our email. And if you want this, this little phrase, and then also, and I'll send you this if you want the breakdown. This is just my visual for training, is the breakdown for this whole 36 Connect program. Just drop me a comment. However, wherever you're seeing this, I'm live streaming this on a bunch of different platforms, from Facebook to LinkedIn to YouTube. So wherever you're consuming this, if you want that, just let me know. But on there, on that email, I'm always going to have like a PS, right? And the PS is basically a script that it goes something like this. Hey, Bill, and I will just say, hey, and I don't use their name in that because it's going out to all the email. Hey, if you had a question about insurance, or you had a friend or a family member that does, hey, I would love to be the resource for you to answer any questions about insurance. Okay. And it's just a simple, and I'll give you that script, and you can just tailor that to your own, whether it could be, hey, if you have a real estate question, a mortgage question, a stock market question, a roofing question, right? I've read roofing clients. And so it works in all of those. We just tailor that to it. So we're putting that PS in there. So if they read that, then it's like, and they already know what you do. But then again, it's just a reinforcement of, it's like, hey, if you have any questions about blank, I'm still that resource for you. Yes, I'm sharing these things about your hurricane plan or how to get your home ready for fall. But the issue of it is that I'm here to answer those questions for you as it relates to the industry. And there's power in that, because again, we're leading with value of what's gonna help them. And then with the PS part of that is reminding them, is like, hey, I'm here to answer questions. And again, why people go, well, why don't you just go, hey, if you know somebody that needs insurance, hey, will you please connect me with them? And I'll tell you why, is that can work. But the issue of it is that everything starts with a conversation. If you think about it, okay, I can't get business from someone unless I'm going to have a conversation with them along the line. And usually the first thing that initiates a conversation a lot of times is a question. It's like, hey, and again, I live in South Florida. Insurance, I'll just use insurance is crazy down here. Ever since Hurricane Ian came through almost 2 years ago, my insurance is like doubled. So insurance is a hot topic down here. And there's a lot of misinformation, right, that goes along. That's why you being the trusted resource in this is like, hey, if you ever have a question about insurance, and if they're your policy holder, obviously they should be connecting with you. But also if they had a friend or a family member that has a question around insurance and they don't have a trusted advisor that they can talk to, because even their own insurance agent, if they're not connecting with them, then they're probably not reaching out to them. And I've told the story about the insurance company that I have for my homeowner's insurance that I've never had a conversation with other than around filing a claim. This is why this is so important. This is why doing this is so important. And it's not only getting to help generate new business, but it's also, right, to keep the current business that we have, and those that are in the insurance industry and financial services that can have churn, right? Because people come in and they leave, they go to your competitor because it's cheaper, or they're upset because there wasn't enough communication. And so that's why this is so important. Is yes, this is going to help us generate those referrals 100%, because I've seen it in my business and those students and clients of mine. But what we want to do is we want to add that PS to it. Now, the other thing that I do is I'm going to send 2 value-based, and then on that third one, think about this on the quarterly, is then that third one, that could be industry. I'm okay with that. Where it's going to be basically, it can be just something around, hey, around life insurance, about some form of investing. It could be over, understanding, hey, the Roth IRA or whatever that is related to your business, because again, you're building authority. The issue is what we want to do is we want to be giving more goodwill. I learned this from my mentor, Laura Portier, in around giving goodwill. Is like we want to be giving 70 to 80% of everything that we're sending out it's just goodwill. It's just like value based, right? And I like the word goodwill sometimes better than value based, but it's goodwill. It's like all the things that we're trying to help them do. But then it's okay then to share this, right? It's like, hey, this is what's going on. This is, and then that's where like there's something new happening in the, in your specific industry, right? So it also could be that on that time that you're sending out, for example, in real estate, it could be, hey, here's your our local area stats look like. It could be, number of homes sold, that kind of thing. So it's okay to do that, but you see where we're going to go 2 to 1 on value or right goodwill content. And we're going to set that up, and what we're going to do is, so 4 times a year it's going to be industry related. 8 times a year it's going to be value based, but we're going to have our PS in there around, hey, if you ever have a question, or you have a friend or a family member that does, I want to be your local resource in doing that. So please, connect with me or have them connect with me and have that conversation. This will work. And I know this because it's worked in my business, right? Because and when you set this up, and here's the other thing, early in my career in real estate, and even before then, when I was in the healthcare industry, that was before the computer actually existed, but as we know it now, but is using AI. And I'm always hesitant to talk about it because people get weirded out about around AI, and I get it. But using Chat GPT, for example, and I use that to help write copy. For example, you can use Chat GPT, and I'll give you an example. It's like you could go into using AI and just say, hey, give me write me content for an email that is value based. That a client, and you can say I'm in insurance, but I don't want it insurance related, right? And it will give you ideas. It will actually write the email, which I suggest that you tweak and make it personal and keep it short. These emails you're not writing a novel, because again, I want you to be thinking about how that you interact with what you get, okay, through your email. It may be bullet points. It could be sharing a story, as well. Because people consume information, differently. So be thinking about all of that. And it's, and we're going to test that. One of my other mentors is, it's calling engaging the field. And it's like, hey, what emails work? We'll send them out. And then it's like, hey, if I got people replying back to me or something like, hey, this is really helpful, or whatever the case may be, then here's the beauty of that. When that starts happening, then you're onto something. Because then people are taking the time to actually reply to your email. And if they ask you a question about that or whatever it is, then we want to be able to track that and go, hey, I got response back on this kind of thing. Let's do more of that kind of thing, of that kind of content. It's pretty simple. That's how we find out if it works, is we send it out and we test it. And we can leverage AI in order to be able to do that, to help us write that. And then what we can do is literally write a year's worth of email. You could write literally longer than a year's worth, but a year's worth of emails, 2 of those being value-based or goodwill content, and then another one that's industry specific, and then put that into your CRM that's going out on the 1st or the 15th of every single month. And you can set it and you're good. And think about that. That's 12 of your 36 right there. If you did nothing more than that, and I'm not saying don't just send an email, because again, as at the beginning of this training we talked about, I still think it's probably one of the least effective things. It's efficient, but not as effective. But I think it plays a role, as long as we're setting it up and we're doing it correctly, and we're coming from a place of goodwill and coming from the place of the client and the receiver of how they're going to receive that and bringing value to them. So I hope that helps. I know I covered that's a lot to cover. And but the beauty of it is that you can replay this and watch it again. And so if you want a copy of that, just drop the comment down below. I'll send it to you for free as far as the client engage. I call it the client engagement playbook. I've called it different things. My 36-point communication, because it's really what it is. But that's our minimum. The standard is what we want to strive for. And so make sure you stay tuned for part 2, because I'm going to go into the next piece of that. Is what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about direct mail, and what that looks like, and the benefit of implementing those touches into side of your engagement as well. So, hey, thanks for being with me today. I hope you found this useful. If you have questions around this or anything else around generating those referrals, what that looks like, questions, connect with me. Let me know. I'm easy to find. You can just drop it in the comments. I'm always happy to answer any questions that you have around this. And until next time, hey, have a great day, and